What up, world? Welcome to another episode. BrandonJaneauShow. As you know, I am BrandonJaneau, like always on all podcast platforms everywhere. BrandonJaneauShow. Social media. Social media. Instagram and threads. Real BrandonJaneauShow. That's real. REAL. BrandonJaneauShow. Facebook. The BrandonJaneauShow. And TikTok. BrandonJaneauShow. Go follow me on all our social media platforms. I would appreciate it if you did. Really way to go is the YouTube channel, man. Brand Janeau Show YouTube channel. Subscribe, comment, like the vids, like the shorts. It all helps in the algorithm if you do. Get into it, man. This is Tuesday, so you already know, man. It's I Bleed Sports. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. Um, a lot going on, man. Football. Talk about some football today. Of course, got the NFL schedule release show out right now on my social media, on social media, on all podcast platforms, and my YouTube channel. So if you want to go watch the entire show of that, that is also available on all podcast platforms in the YouTube channel. Brian Janu Show, of course. But it is, I believe, sports. And like I said, football. Talk about the football, some stuff that's going on in football. Basketball playoffs, of course. Talk about game one last night. Talk about game one tonight. The Knicks and the Cavaliers. Uh, yeah. Talk about some basketball, some WNBA. So talk about that as well. So let's get into it, man. But let's kick it off with this, man. Boxing. Keyshawn Davis. For Naeem Albright. Naeem Hart Albright this past Saturday in a grudge match, a rematch of their fight a couple years ago. If you remember this fight, if you are a Keyshawn Davis fan or a Albright fan, you know what happened with this fight. I mean, Keyshawn Davis beats him the first fight, but um, what happens is I think he tested positive for marijuana. So the fight was ruled a non-contest. So that's what happened with that. And then, of course, Keyshawn Davis's brother did fight Nair Albright in Dallas, I think it was. And or it wasn't Virginia. Might have been Virginia. Because I'm from Virginia. Uh, and he beat uh he beat his brother, and this actually led to the Davis brothers, all what, like three of them, I think, jumping Nair Albright through the fight. Now, Keyshawn, of course, this night was supposed to be the headliner of the pay per view of the ESPN uh, top ranked show, but because of him not making weight, he had to forfeit the match. Well, not forfeit the match, but the match was didn't happen. Um, the match didn't happen because he didn't make weight. I think he was like 4 pounds off. So it was even. It's not just like he didn't make weight. The motherfucker just was 4 pounds off. Like it's that's insane. Um, and so he couldn't you know box that night. His brother loses. So after the fight, everybody it was just pandemonium backstage after the fight. But so basically, this was supposed to set up the rematch, right? Everything is setting up the rematch. Here we go. And Saturday, Keyshawn Davis basically did what Keyshawn Davis does, and he beat the shit out of Nair Bro, right? Um, it wasn't even a close fight. It really wasn't. Um, I feel like Keyshawn Davis maybe kind of also gave him a little bit too much grace because I think he could have knocked him out way earlier than what he did. Now Albright is a crafty son of a bitch. I mean, he got his length, his awkwardness of his movements. So, but at the same time, I think Keyshawn was just he didn't want to be there. He literally said he didn't want to fight this dude. He didn't want to be there. But he took the fight and he beat him. But my thing with this is, Keyshawn is a lightweight. He's fighting at 140. But he just had a fight against Jermaine Ortiz on the Shakur and Teofimo Lopez fight, and he basically just won that shit. That was an easy fight for him, and it becomes the conversation then becomes, and Jermaine Ortiz is lightweight, kind of. Yeah, lightweight, kind of, middleweight. Well, oh, not middle, welterweight, kind of like in the spectrum of that. But that fight, Saturday in the fight before that, Keyshawn Davis has definitely shown his dominance in the boxing ring. And the question becomes now, does he go up fully to welterweight? Does he just go up to welterweight, get this shit out the way, go up to welterweight, and just fight welterweight? And, of course, junior welterweight right now, if you look at the 147-pound limit, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney. I forgot who else is, welterweight. Fuck. I forgot who else is sitting with the two other belts. It's Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia. I forgot the other two guys that got the other belts. But junior welterweight is right there. And now you have the conversation of Keyshawn Davis. Does he go fully up to welterweight, junior welterweight, 147? And the one thing he's been saying is, I don't want to make weight no more. I'm tired of going to the lightweight division and having to make weight when I could just be my natural fucking self. And for somebody that comes from the tree of Terrence Bud Crawford, I feel like he's one of those guys. And listen, man, I think Keyshawn Davis has the power. Watching Keyshawn Davis box a couple times, the boy can box his ass off. He has this though. He has this because he's good. Here's my thing. I want to say Conor Ben is also a welterweight, a junior welterweight, because Ryan Garcia and Conor Ben are going to fight each other. So I think that's a junior welterweight. So Conor Ben, I think, has the other belt, if I'm not mistaken. And maybe y'all could tell me if I'm wrong or not when this comes out. I'm looking forward to seeing this though. And Keyshawn Davis has been trying to get the Devin Haney fight, and I don't know if that's I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea for Devin Haney. I know people think I'm like, I hate on Devin Haney. I'm not hating on Devin Haney. I just think that, like, bro, like, I think he should avoid guys that he's not. Brian Norman Jr. just got back in the ring also Saturday for the first time since he lost to Devin Haney. The thing about Brian Norman Jr., I feel like, was he had the power. He didn't have the speed like Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia had the power and the speed to catch Devin off guard. So every time Devin would throw, he knew something was coming back quicker than he could reflect to it. He could react to it. I don't know if Keyshawn Davis is that fast. Like, I don't think he has that quick of a reflection. Like, quick of a reaction than that. I don't think, like, Ryan Garcia was timing Devin. Every time Devin would throw something and he was in close range, boom, he'd tag him. I don't know if Keyshawn Davis is that, because it goes into what I was about to say about him. I feel like he has fights where he loses his discipline. Like, and that is the one thing about what I said about Ryan Garcia. is like no. When I say about Ryan Garcia is that Ryan Garcia, when he gets tagged, he stops fighting. Like he just stops it. Like he just doesn't want to fight anymore. You can see it in the Tank fight. You saw it in the Rolly Romero. I think that's who also has a belt. Rolly Romero. Um, I think that's who got the belt. Rolly Romero got the belt. I think at junior welterweight. Um, yeah, I think yeah one of the belts at junior welterweight. Um, but when he fought Rolly Romero, you saw him basically stop fighting. Like once he got tagged in that second round, he stopped fighting. Like he was just gone. And this is why I keep saying if he fights certain the thing about Ryan Garcia is like if you fight a certain way, which last fight he had was probably his best fight he's ever had. And like that's his best fucking fight like I've ever seen him have. So it's the same thing with like Devin Haney. A lot of these dudes, Devin is a tag you first. Let me jump on these points first, and then I can kind of play defense the rest of the fight because all I gotta do now is just jab you and keep you away from me. Which is why, and I've said this numerous times about the Devin and Ryan fight, which was he got tagged. He tried to bully Ryan instead of outboxing him because he was way better than Ryan as a boxer. Anybody that doesn't know that, Devin's a way better boxer than Ryan Garcia. What he fucked up was trying to outbully him, and he's not a bully. He isn't a bully. What happened with the Brian Norman fight was Brian Norman got fucking caught. He tried to assert his dominance early, and he got caught, and that shit rung him, and he fell, and he was like, "What the fuck?" And then for the rest of the fight, if you actually watch the rest of the fight, Devin just stayed on his bike. He basically just backed the fuck up. He jabbed him, kept his ass off his balance. But when Brian Norman put the pressure on, you could see like Brian Norman could put the pressure on, but it was just too late because you already had lost. Like it was already you already had got knocked down. You were kind of just out of it for like the next like 4 to 5 rounds after that. So by the time you started to put the pressure on and started to really engage, it was too late. It was like, bro, you can't really win this fight now. This is why I say all the time about Shakur Stevenson. Shakur has defensive awareness. Like his defense is Floyd level. Like, and that's why I say when you fight a Ryan Garcia or you fight a Devin Haney, as much as you can sit here and say, "Oh man," off of the build, the mass of them, they're going to whoop Shakur Stevenson's ass. That's not the case because if you actually look at Shakur, his boxing IQ is better than theirs. Like he just has a different level of defense. You can't fucking touch him. And you could try, but you can't touch him. Where Keyshawn Davis falls into the middle of this is that he has the ability to be one of the best, but he loses his discipline. Like he gets bored. Like even he said it. I got tagged by Albright, and that's what woke me the fuck up because he was cool with just winning the fight by like doing the jabs and kind of just doing enough. He was cool with that. The moment he got tagged, it was like, oh, okay, let's do this. When you go into these types of fights, so you want to be a champion, you're going to have to be way more aggressive than just let me just get these points. No, what he did to Jermaine Ortiz, that's what the fuck he got to do in those fights. He's got to be able to counter punch. He got to be able to react quickly. He got to boom, 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 and he's got the power. So he can do it, especially if you're moving up, that power's coming with you. So I will be interested to see how this is going to play out. I don't know what the hell is going to happen. He might be back in the ring by the end of this year. It might be Devin Haney in him. I would not be surprised. Yeah, that'd be an interesting fight. That'd be a very, very, very interesting fight. Lomachenko is back. Vasily Lomachenko is back after retiring. I think for 2 years he's been gone. The question becomes like, The question becomes, will he fight? And the only person that I feel like at the lightweight division that is even still standing when he was there is Shakur Stevenson. Now the question is, do I think he's better than Shakur? Fuck no. I think Shakur would whoop Lomachenko's ass. I think Lomachenko is very gas, like on the gas, and he wants you to come to him. Shakur's not that. Shakur is like I said, he's got a boxing IQ where he's not going to allow you to do what you usually do. And plus, on top of that, being out the ring for 2 years with a guy that's already a little bit more sound before you left, and now he's more sound. His discipline is a little bit more crisp. Yeah. Does this get Tank Davis finally out the well, he's still in legal trouble. But once he gets out of that, does that impede Tank Davis to say, you know what? Let me get my shit together because I want to fight Lomachenko, which is a fight that should have been happened a long time ago. There's a lot of fights on the table that should have happened, and it just never happened, never materialized. So, yeah. Basketball. WNBA. Let's get it out the way. A'ja Wilson is the queen of the WNBA. Let's get that out the way. I think a lot of people want to sit here and tell everybody about Caitlin Clark and all this other. Listen, bro, it's A'ja Wilson, bro. A'ja Wilson is the queen of the WNBA. Anybody that doesn't understand that, I don't know what the fuck you watching. This is a woman that has won what 4 MVPs. She's got what 3, 4 rings already in her career, and yet she's getting better. It's she's getting better. Like it's disturbing. It's disturbing. It's disturbing. It's scary. It's disturbing. The Aces look like the team to beat in the WNBA. The Aces look like the team to beat. When they are focused, that first game, I think they just got shocked. They got shell shocked. They didn't know what they were celebrating. They were so happy to just win a ring and raise a banner, and they were kind of just like, got another ring, got another banner. What the fuck? And they just got caught off guard by the Mercury. That's all that happened, man. They got caught off guard by the Mercury. But the Aces feel like a team that they're just putting the shit together. They understand understand who they are. You got Chelsea Gray. You got Chelsea Gray. You got Jewel Lloyd. Jackie Young. You got Jackie Young. You got A'ja Wilson, and now you got Carter, Chastity Carter. Now she adds to the team. It's like my freaking god. Yo, the Aces don't have a fucking flaw, and it's scary. Like they don't have a flaw, bro. That's disturbing. That is top tier disturbing. They don't have a flaw. That's scary. They don't have a flaw. They don't have a flaw. The Aces might not have a flaw. Like now that I think if they stay focused and they stay on a singular mission, Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, A'ja Wilson, the Aces might raise another banner in Vegas, bro. That's disturbing. That's fucking disturbing. That's fucking disturbing, man. Yeah, watching the WNBA this year, man, is fun. I'm loving the fact that these women are getting the love that they're getting. Toronto, Temp doing anything. Connecticut Sun, listen, I don't know what the fuck going on with y'all, but y'all, listen, I will say this. Haley Van Lathan is clearly someone you should probably start this season because it looks like right now y'all have no spark. And she's the one thing that if you watch Haley Van Lathan when she was in college, when she was the number one player, when she was the only player for that team, like look at Louisville, when she was at Louisville, when you look at TCU a couple years ago, when she's the number one player, she can handle that shit so much better. And maybe because the Connecticut Sun know also there's team is getting moved next year to Houston. Maybe that's probably why they're not putting as much effort into this fucking season. So yeah. But watching WNBA this year has been great. I love the fact they're on NBC. Of course, they're on ABC, obviously ESPN, but they're getting the USA. Like they're on channels Prime. This is beautiful. I love to see these women get their love, their flowers, because they deserve it. And the league is expanded. You got still Detroit. You got Philly coming. Detroit's getting a team. Detroit Shock is supposed to be coming back. Philly's getting a team. Cleveland's getting a team. Yeah, expand this shit, man. Expand the hell out this goddamn league, man. Expand them all, man. Expand this league as much as you fucking physically can. But yeah, NBA. Oh shit! If I get into the conference finals, of course, everybody is talking about Victor Wembanyama, the alien, the motherfucking unicorn, the man of dominance. I'm gonna talk about that game one last night that we had, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is our NBA finals because we all know whoever gets out the West, good fucking luck to the East. Like, good fucking luck to the East. Um, I want to go back to the previous uh round of the NBA playoffs. Two teams particularly, and that's Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves and Cade Cunningham of the Detroit Pistons. The way these two men's seasons have ended, it kind of differently though. Different endings for both. Similar results, different endings. Similar results. Like they both are now watching the playoffs with us, be watching NBA finals with us. But the way their seasons ended are two different ways. Um, Anthony Edwards, who lost to the San Antonio Spurs, in the Western Conference semifinals. This is a completely different world right now because now we're looking at this Minnesota Timberwolves team, and I have said this shit since last motherfucking year. I have said this shit since last motherfucking year. Now people are saying this. Oh man, I think Anthony Edwards needs some more help. No shit. No shit. I have been saying Anthony Edwards needs a two. He needs someone to take the ball out of his hands and put 20 on the board like with a blink of a fucking eye. He needs that. I never understood why the Minnesota Timberwolves thought it was a good idea. And of course, here comes here comes the conversation because a lot of people sat there and said, well, here's the thing. Minnesota tried to get Giannis during the regular season and they couldn't do it. I don't give a fuck what the price is. You got to get him Giannis. During the season, that's one thing. Off season, now the Bucks are telling everybody, if you got the right package, we will move heaven and earth to get you Giannis. There is a point of this season where this shit, to see Anthony Edwards go out like that, bro, and have absolutely, first of all, anybody that thinks Rudy Gobert was going to score some crazy amounts of points in that fucking game is insane. Rudy Gobert has never been a fucking scorer. Outside of that 20-20 game he had against outside of that 20-20 game that he had against the Lakers last year, Rudy Gobert does not score. He does not score. It's not his game. Julius Randle was supposed to do more than what the fuck he has done. And again, we gave him passes for the first round, but the second round came and he did exactly what he always does, and that's fucking vanish. He did not do what he was supposed to fucking do. So to hear people now say, man, Anthony Edwards, man, he need help. Really? You're just now realizing this. I've been saying this shit for a year and a half now. There is no reason for Anthony Edwards to have no goddamn help. This is insane. This man has done everything you have asked him to do, and all he needs is a goddamn person to just put 20 on the board, get him at least a couple rebounds, help him defensively, and just carry the second half of the load. That's all the fuck he needs. And yet, nothing. You don't get it. And now you got dumbasses on NBA media, like First Take, questioning this man's fucking leadership because he decided to walk over to the San Antonio Spurs bench when he knew, nigga, we down 30. We ain't winning this fucking game. It's over. Go over, shake them dudes' hands, and say, bro, I'm not staying once the buzzer in. Nobody put that into consideration. I'm not staying once the buzzer in. I'm out this bitch. I don't give a fuck. I'm out this hoe. I'm not staying to shake their hands. People that is getting in their feelings over that. Oh my God, I don't know if I would have done that. You wouldn't have done it. Ooh, nigga, why the fuck do we have this idea in our head that every time somebody does something, I wouldn't have done that. Great, nigga, you didn't do it. He did. Who gives a fuck? Why do we hold that grudge of something like, I wouldn't have done that? Great, nigga, he did. Who cares? It's like, what the fuck, dude? That's insane. It's insane. Minnesota needs to go get Anthony Edwards, Giannis Antetokounmpo. If you can't get Giannis, go get Zion. Go get Zion. Make a play and do the impossible. And that is something that people are not talking about. Go get the Joker. Go get Sabonis from the Kings. Figure out a fucking way to get these dudes. Maybe Nikola Vucevic from the Boston Celtics, who they traded and got doing this last season. Figure out a way, man. Do something. Move heaven and earth and get this fucking dude some help. This is ridiculous. That's fucking ridiculous. I would say go get Şengün, but that nigga suck on defense. But yeah, they need to go get that man help. I've been saying this since last fucking year. They look at Dallas. Get him Derek Lively. Get him Derek Lively. Figure something out, man. Go get him somebody, bro. That's insane. That you're not trying to get him nobody. You got a talent that is beyond winnable. You could win something with this kid, and you are choosing to not do shit with him. Depending on his Eastern Conference Finals, look at Cleveland. Evan Mobley. I know people gonna sit there and say Cleveland would never do that. You don't fucking know. I didn't think they would trade Darius Garland, but they fucking did. On the opposite end of that spectrum was Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham is also now watching the Eastern Conference Finals with us. His team came back to at least get a Game 7 in Detroit. And it was a terrible Game 7. It just was not a good Game 7. They got blown out. It was not a close game at all. And outside of the first quarter, it was a complete and utter blowout. What do I think of Detroit? After you watch this game, after you watch this series, there is a lot of questions that needs to be mentioned in Detroit. Unlike Anthony Edwards in Minnesota, where you know he can handle being the guy. I'm not saying Cade Cunningham can't, because I was banging on the table screaming Cade Cunningham could be the MVP this year. He had a great season up until the point where he got injured. Which is another thing that maybe some people are not talking about, which was, a collapsed lung in the middle of the fucking season, damn near at the end of the year. Was his conditioning back to normal? I mean, yes, he played, but how much could that have taken out of him to kind of try to work with now a collapsed fucking lung? Like, that doesn't. I'm just saying. Anyway, Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham. Anyway, Cade Cunningham. He just didn't show up when it mattered most, and there was a lot of games where he just didn't show up when it mattered most. And the question does become now: if you're looking at Detroit, it's not like Minnesota. You know Anthony Edwards could carry the team. You just need him. You just need someone that can help him. With Cade Cunningham, is he ready to be the number one? And that's not a diss to Cade Cunningham. Like I said, I am one of those few people that was saying Cade Cunningham could be the MVP this year. The way that you got the number one seed in the Eastern Conference, you guys had a great season, and then it just the playoffs. You struggle against the Magic, you lose against the Cavs, and there's a fucking disconnect somewhere. Like there's a massive disconnect somewhere. And I feel like that's kind of why I look at the situation. I'm saying to myself, I don't know what Detroit is right now. They are in a way worse situation than Minnesota because at least with Minnesota, you have your one. I'm not saying Cade Cunningham is not a one, but is he 1A or 1B? That's what you need to figure the fuck out. Is he 1A or 1B? Anthony Edwards is 1A. Giannis could be 1A too, but he probably would take a back seat to be 1B. Like, bro, this is your team. I'm just here to win a championship. Cool. That's not what it is with Cade Cunningham. It's like, are you 1A or are you 1B? Because when the problem came, you kind of faded. And this isn't, last year when you played the first round last year against the Knicks, you played your ass off, but you just didn't have the horses. They gave you the horses, and you still couldn't get it done. So what is the situation? What's going on? So there's a real thing that we need to talk about with Cade Cunningham, and that is are you a 1A or are you a 1B? Because if you're not a 1A, we need to go get that 1A. You could be a 1B, you can still be your team, but in certain moments, we're going to have to go to this guy and have him handle that, which brings in Giannis. These are two teams that need to have a conversation. Now, if you're looking at it from the perspective of Milwaukee, I'm taking Detroit's package. Whatever Detroit's package is, I'm probably going to take it more. Reason why is because in that package, I probably am getting, I don't know if you would trade Jalen Duren, but Jalen Duren right now over Rudy Gobert, I'll take it. I don't know if you trade the Thompson brother. I don't know if you trade the Thompson twin, but him over Julius Randle, I'm taking it. I'm taking that over Julius Randle. I know a lot of people sit there and say that's crazy, that's blasphemous. No, that's young, that's youth. That motherfucker can turn into something special. I already know what I got with Julius Randle. I don't need. Excuse me. I already know what I got with Julius Randle. I don't need to try to wishy-wash this shit and try to force something that isn't there. I know what I have in Julius Randle. That's just what it is. With Detroit, I know I'm not getting Cade Cunningham, and in the Minnesota package, I know I'm not getting Anthony Edwards. I know I'm not getting Ant, and I know I'm not getting Cade Cunningham. So what can I get out the package that will make me care? And if you look at it from the perspective of Detroit, Thompson, Jalen Duren, and some picks. And maybe Tobias Harris, right? Veteran. Boom. Throw him in there. That's enough for me. If I'm Milwaukee, I'm looking at that like, I like that. I like that package a lot. The only team that can kind of maybe fuck that package up is the Houston Rockets. But pairing Giannis with Kevin Durant at this point would be stupid. It would be fucking stupid. I don't think that's a good idea at all. A lot of people are getting the Knicks could also fuck up the package, which is if the Knicks don't get to the finals and Cleveland beats them, then that gets a little bit shaky. That gets a little bit rocky because Karl-Anthony Towns will definitely be traded to get Giannis. So Giannis and Karl-Anthony Towns kind of bumps up over Jalen Duren and Thompson. And he definitely is over Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle. And then whatever you package up with that, and you probably package up Mikal Bridges, and maybe Jose Eldorado, who you got from the Pelicans this year. and you get some picks. Which I don't know if you got any more fucking picks after you traded damn near everybody to get Mikal Bridges. But yeah, but there's a lot of teams. I'm telling y'all now, man. The Pelicans, the Kings. There's some teams that I can definitely see. Like I said, Aaron Gordon for the Denver Nuggets. He's on the trading block. They might not say it, but he's on the trading block. Jamal Murray might be on the trading block. So that's some shit that's gonna get moved. Definitely get moved. All right. Western Conference Finals. You know what's funny is before the season, I did my NBA preview show, and I said the Western Conference Finals will be San Antonio Spurs and the OKC Thunder. And I said the New York Knicks. I think I said the Cavaliers. I said the Cavaliers and the Knicks, and I said the Cavaliers and the Knicks, and the Spurs and the Thunder. So I basically told y'all that this was going to be the Eastern Conference Finals. I knew this was going to be the Eastern Conference Finals, but for two different reasons. Why I took the Spurs and the Thunder in the Western Conference Finals, because I was like, a healthy Victor Wembanyama with the Spurs is a dangerous fucking team. You can't stop that. That is something that you just can't stop. And you saw it last night. You can't stop that. There's nothing you can do to stop that. Like that is, you don't have the players, the team, the structure. And OKC is the best defensive team in the NBA, and they can't fucking figure it out. They're like, bro, this shit. If you double team him, you have to hope and pray that Stephon Castle. They didn't even have Darren Fox last night, which is the most insane part. These dudes didn't even have Darren Fox last night, and they still won. That's insane. This is the next. I told y'all this shit for the last since the preseason, like before the season started. I told y'all this for at least the next 2 to 3 years. This is the Western Conference Finals. Get ready. Mm-hmm. Get ready. This is the Western Conference Finals for the next 2 to 3 years. Get ready. Get ready. Spurs are going to continue to improve. Thunder are going to continue to improve, and they're going to just be the Western Conference Finals until somebody disrupts that. There's nobody in the West that I feel like has even the structure to disrupt that. Minnesota, but again, like I just said, you kind of have to trade something. Rudy Gobert, Julius Randle. Are you trading Nas Reed? Because I damn sure I ain't trading Nas Reed. Fuck that. I'm not trading. I might trade DeSumo. I'm not trading Jaden McDaniels. Fuck. This is the thing about the situation. The Western Conference is just two teams. It is. It's the Spurs and the Thunder. And this is about to be an arms race for the next 2 to 3 years. Now, who comes out on top? Who knows? Who knows? But this is why I said this was going to be the Western Conference Finals. Because I saw it. I'm like, bro, the Thunder is going to be there. They're the warriors of this generation, which means, and this is why a lot of people don't like them. They kind of are young and they feel a little bit cocky and they feel like they shouldn't be in the situation that they're in and they shouldn't be winning the way they're winning. But they are. But they are. That's not a diss to them. They're just winning. But the Spurs are going to be a fucking thorn in their side because you can't stop Victor Wembanyama. And as long as the Spurs can continuously grow with the Thunder, this I've said this numerous times. This might be the only season where the Thunder can actually get to the Western Conference, get to the NBA Finals. But after last night, I'm really like, woo shit. This after last night, I'm like, woo shit. This might not go the way everybody wants it. The Spurs might be more of a troublesome team for the Thunder than even I thought. So I'm like, at least the Thunder could get to the NBA Finals one more year and no problems. Like, I thought the Spurs would still have a little bit of a youth, can't get it done feel. Yeah, that shit went out the window last night. Hey, that shit went out the window last night. I'm looking at this game like, damn, like this nigga, no, Victor Wembanyama is different. That's just disturbing. It's disturbing, and this is why people think I'm crazy when I was saying Victor Wembanyama is probably going to. Victor Wembanyama should have won the fucking MVP this year. I said that shit. I said Cade Cunningham, Victor Wembanyama, one of them two should win the MVP. The fact that this man didn't even get a fucking, he didn't even finish second. He didn't finish second. He finished behind the Joker, who finished behind, say, Gilgeous. What the fuck is these dudes watching? Like, I get it. You feel some favoritism to the Joker because for the last couple of years, you have lied to yourself and told yourself he's the best player. He's not. He has been surpassed. He's been surpassed by Anthony Edwards. He's been surpassed by, say, Gilgeous-Alexander. He's clearly getting surpassed by Victor Wembanyama. What the fuck are you still watching? I'm not saying the Joker's not great and he can't get triple doubles and he can't do this. But now we're starting to realize, oh man, he got deficiencies like a motherfucker. And in the playoffs where he was so dominant, it's like after he got his ring, he quit. And I don't want to say it like that, but look at what the fuck has happened. Like, he got his ring, and the Nuggets have not been to a Western Conference Finals since they won their ring. Ladies and gentlemen, that was what? 4 years ago? 4 or 5 years ago? 3. When they run a ring? 2003, I want to say? 2020, 2023, 2024? No. Was it 2022, 2023? It's been a minute. Like, it's been a fucking, like, people talk about the Lakers with the bubble shit. The fucking Nuggets have not won a ring. Haven't been to a Western Conference Finals since like 2020 fucking 3, 4. So for 3.5 years, you have not at least got to the Western Conference Finals. That is why I'm saying you need to look at Aaron Gordon. You need to look at Jamal Murray. There is a real conversation that you need to start to have with the Denver Nuggets and say maybe the Joker is the best player on the team, but do we might need to think about maybe trading him? Because you're surpassed. You can't beat the Timberwolves. We've known this now in the playoffs. You can't beat the Timberwolves. You can't beat the Thunder because you lost to the Thunder last year. And now the Spurs have surpassed you. But this is why I say for the next, if the Timberwolves could figure out their shit and get Anthony Edwards some help, the Timberwolves are the only team I feel like could disrupt the Spurs and the Thunder's run. That's the only team that I think can actually stop the Thunder's run. That's the only team, is the Timberwolves. Because they actually have a player that's already set to go to war with anyone, and that's Anthony Edwards. But you need the horses. He doesn't have the horses. He doesn't have that. He ain't got a San Antonio where you got Stephon Castle and you got Darren Fox and you got a Devin Vassell and you have these players that come off the bench and interchangeable. He doesn't have that. He has some of that, but he doesn't have the 2-3 guys that can, like I said, he can give the ball to. You give him Giannis. Trade Julius, Rudy, maybe DeSumo, but you give Anthony Edwards, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Jaden McDaniels, with the bench being led by Naz Reid. That's fucking up the Thunder. That's fucking up the Spurs. It's fucking them up a little bit because now you can't just walk through the West. It's a problem. Now we got a problem. Look at what the Thunder actually almost got to pull it off the 6 games. They got to 6 games. The question is, can you win a series? And that's it. But I'm not surprised that the Thunder and Spurs are in the playoff in the Western Conference Finals. I picked this. I knew this was coming. I'm not surprised at fucking all. I knew this was going to be the Western Conference Finals. The moment I saw the 6 teams, I'm like, if Victor's healthy, Thunder's going to be there. I knew the Thunder were going to the Western Conference Finals. It was not even a conversation. I said, if Victor Wembanyama is healthy, the Spurs are going to the fucking Western Conference Finals. I don't know who the fuck thinks they're not. Here we are. Here we are. Now, I also picked the Eastern Conference Finals, which was the Knicks and the Cavs. Now, I picked them completely different reasons. I picked the Thunder and the Spurs because I'm like, they're the 2 best teams in the West. I knew it. All it was just, can Victor be healthy? If so, then they're going to go to the Western Conference Finals. Now, what they do in the Western Conference Finals is still to be seen. If game 1 is a precursor to what we can be seeing for the next now 6 games, woo shit, it's gonna be interesting. It's about to get motherfucking interesting. And they still gotta get Darren Fox back at some point. With the Eastern Conference, I picked the Knicks and the Cavs, but I picked them for 2 different reasons. One reason is because the East was down. You had no Pacers. At the time when I picked them, it was early in the season, so I didn't think Jason Tatum was ever going to come back and play this season. I knew Tyrese Halliburton wasn't playing this season. And that's the reason why I picked the Cavs and the Knicks. And on top of that, I also picked them because I felt like if you don't win, if you don't at least get to the finals this year, you got to blow that fucking team up. Like, it's not even a conversation anymore. If you don't get to the finals, if you're the Knicks, you got to blow that team up. It's like, bro, you've tried. Clearly, Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, as good as they are, they're 1-1. They're not 1-2. They're more like, a high 2 and kind of low 2. You still need to go get your 1. Yeah, Jalen Brunson has his moments, but Jalen Brunson is defensively, like, he is a defensive liability. Karl-Anthony Towns has his moments, and he's still a defensive liability. This is why I said, if I was the Knicks, if they did not get to this point, but here's the thing, Knicks have been in the Eastern Conference Finals for the last couple of years, so it's not like this is a new thing for the Knicks. If they didn't get to the finals, and I said this shit, if the Knicks did not get to the NBA Finals, there needs to be a conversation. I'm keeping Jalen Brunson. I'm thinking about trading Karl-Anthony Towns. And I'm trading them for Giannis. Or even Zion. I'm trading them for somebody. You got to get the fuck out of here. I'm not surprised. And the same thing with the Cavaliers. Because they're in the same fucking boat. Don't get it twisted. They're in the same fucking boat. Now, they traded Darius Garland. But I was the same way with the Cavs. I'm like, bro, if you don't get to the Eastern Conference Finals after the last couple of years where you've been literally the number 1 seed in the fucking East and you can barely get out the second goddamn round, yeah, we need to probably blow this shit up. It's kind of like over now. We can finally put this shit to bed. It's over. It's done. We can move on. Now, who do you get rid of? That's the conversation. Darius Garland was one. Donovan Mitchell. And again, it also came into the picture of Donovan Mitchell has to be healthy because he's another one that has a lot of injuries at the wrong fucking time. So I'm not surprised that the Cavs and the Knicks capitalized on a conference that was very down. Look at who made it to the Eastern Conference semifinals. They played the Knicks. The Sixers, who wasn't even supposed to be in the fucking playoffs. You play, and then look at the Cavaliers, Pistons. As good as the Pistons are, like I just said, is Cade Cunningham a 1A or is he a 1B? Yeah, he can have a great regular season, but it seems like right now he struggles in the post. And again, maybe he's not struggling in the postseason. Maybe that injury that he suffered late in the season, maybe it's actually really did ail him later on in the postseason. Maybe it did actually have more of an effect on him than maybe people was letting on. But I'm not surprised that either four of these teams are in this position. I told you I thought the Spurs and the Thunder would be here, and I thought the Knicks and the Cavs would be here. I really did. I knew this shit was gonna happen because I'm like, bro, the Knicks and the Cavs have too much to lose if they don't at least get to the finals. The finals. Yeah. NFL. Aaron Rodgers has officially signed with the Steelers. He's coming back as the quarterback of the Steelers. Um, how do I feel about that? Who gives a fuck? Uh, who cares? 42 years old, coming back and play quarterback. We could listen, man. I've said this numerous times. For somebody like Aaron Rodgers, who has clearly shown you that he's not Tom Brady, right? This is a bar of 40 in quarterback play now, where Tom Brady could sustain his level, I think, until like he was like 43, 44, and his arm kind of just left him by the end of his career. Aaron Rodgers, who has been always about his arm strength, his talent, putting the ball in certain positions and places. If you saw him last year, he couldn't run out the pocket like he used to. Now he's not as athletic as he used to be, and now you're asking him to now throw the ball 60 yards on a rope, and it's like that's not going to be the case. I don't understand why he's coming back, but more importantly, I don't understand why Pittsburgh thought that was a good idea to sit and wait for this fucking dude. At some point, the fucking Steelers, who is absolutely fucking desperate, the Steelers who are absolutely positively fucking desperate, need to have a conversation with themselves. You really think this season is going to end like it did last year? Which you got extremely fucking lucky. Cincinnati was down because of Joe Burrow got injured. Baltimore clearly had their fucking issues on the field and off the field. And Cleveland was Cleveland. Like, I don't know what you want me to say about that. And let's be 100% honest here. Baltimore should have won that game. But again, John Harbaugh, who everybody now just chooses to forget, is the reason for why Baltimore didn't make the fucking playoffs last year, because he opted to still kick a fucking field goal when you clearly could have walked down a field and probably put Lamar Jackson in a situation where he could have proven, hey, bro, I can really play off Lamar. Shit, yeah, that's dead. I really handle crunch time. Like, I can do this shit for real. And instead, you basically chose to kick a fucking 40-something yard field goal with a rookie on the road in the cold with the wind blowing that way. Yeah. And this is the John Harbaugh that everybody, swear to God, is going to make the Giants into a Super Bowl contender. Fuck out of here. The Pittsburgh Steelers are stupid. They're stupid. I don't know what the fuck has happened to Pittsburgh. That franchise. I get that you haven't had too many quarterbacks in your. You haven't had too many quarterbacks in your franchise either. See, people forget that too. They haven't really had too many quarterbacks. You got to realize they went from what, Terry Bradshaw to what, Neil McDonald, I think it was. Then you had like a time period with Tommy Maddox. And then Big Ben was their quarterback for like damn near 20 some years. And then you go into this solitude of nothingness with the quarterback position. And so you've been so and they drafted Kenny Pickett, and it was just a bad fucking draft. It was a bad quarterback draft. You force yourself to take a quarterback that probably, excuse me, should have never been a quarterback in the NFL. Definitely not a starting quarterback. And you took a kid that probably wasn't ready, and that's okay. But now you have become so goddamn centered around, I don't want to be in that situation ever again, that you fucked your shit up. And you fucked it up so bad that you don't know how to fix it. And you're so goddamn afraid. You're so fucking scared to actually draft a quarterback and just let's see what happens. And I'm not saying this draft was the best draft class on the planet to get a quarterback. Fuck no. But if the Pittsburgh Steelers really want to be taken serious, hey, bro, I'm going to tell you some real shit. If I was the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'll take this season. I get a top 5 pick. I get a top 5 pick. I would get a top 5 pick. And I drive a quarterback. I don't know what this draft class is going to look like. Of course, like I said last year, we thought a lot of quarterbacks coming out last year. And then the season happened and it just died. That quarterbacks just did not live up to their draft status, and they went back to college for another year. And of course, like again, if you're getting paid all this money, why would you leave college? But other than the Pittsburgh Steelers, bro, you gave Aaron Rodgers $25 million for another year, where he's been on a fucking decline. And people are gonna sit here and say when I clip this, put this on social media, oh well, look at the stats and numbers last year. Fuck your stats and your numbers. Look at the fucking quarterback. Look at him. Fuck the stats and numbers. Look at him. He can't run. He can't get the fuck out the pocket. He's not athletic enough. And now you are putting a guy whose quarterback ability was to put the ball in certain positions of the field. And now he can't fucking do it. And you want me to sit here and say the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win a division this year? They're going to be competitive. That's why I keep saying Cincinnati's going to win this division in AFC North. They're going to shock a lot of fucking people. They did enough work defensively to really fuck some shit up. Yeah. But that's it. That's it. I'll talk to you guys soon. This is I Bleed Sports. Peace.